How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Here we are again. Over the years, I do get several people making the comment that real estate is the best way to secure your finances and that real estate values always hold up. Well, of course, as I have conclusively proved on many occasions, not least in some of these blogs, that latter comment very rarely holds out to be true. There are times to buy and times to sell, just like with anything else. You certainly don't buy when prices are high and affordability is getting close to some of the limits. You also don't buy going into a crisis. You wait till the crisis works its poison, and when things appear to be at rock bottom, that would be the time to buy. Prices of real estate are always a lagging indicator. That's why it's so easy to work out what's going to happen next. But most people just don't get it. I mean, for heaven's sake, I've been forecasting house price movements since the mid-60s. I've never yet got it wrong. There is also a question which comes up very frequently when I do my financial calculations based upon a minimum return of 10% per annum. Where am I getting that 10%? I assume it hasn't escaped your notice that the world of banking has drastically changed over the decades. In particular, over the course of the past generation, interest rates have kept falling, and they are now effectively running on minus figures. Bank rate is somewhere in the dodgy zone of about 0.1% across rather a large chunk of the world. With inflation running somewhere around 1% in most countries, that sends the return on money saved with a bank into the negative. But then, who wants to leave money in the bank? Bloody silly place to put it. I take a very simple view of money. This view differs from that of most people, so I think I need to start by explaining how I regard money. I look at money as a servant. After all, I have a little saying. I work hard to get my money, so I expect when I've got it that it starts to work hard for me. That means first and foremost that I do not expect to borrow money in order to spend it. If I borrow money, it is for one purpose and one purpose only: to make more money. The average financial idiot borrows in order to spend, and therefore remains forever poor. If I need something and it costs money, the first thing I do is work out how I can create a financial situation that will make me money. I then set everything up and use the money that situation makes me to pay for what I want. That way, every deal I do makes me money instead of costing me money. It's disarmingly simple, and to my way of thinking, disarmingly obvious. Once I've made some money, I then treat that money as a servant and put it to work for me. After all, who needs staff? They're a nuisance, usually unreliable. They cost money. Money doesn't cost money, it makes money. And money is the best servant I know, and it works non-stop. And it has the capacity to create money exponentially, which is totally beyond the ability of a human worker. When I look at any investment situation, obviously I first do my due diligence. I have several basic rules, but this isn't the place to go into how one should do due diligence. But, assuming the investment passes all the necessary tests, I apply one further test. The return must be more than the rate of inflation, rounded up, plus 10% ROI. That means, at the moment, I would not even consider any investment that returned less than 12% per annum. Okay, the next question is, where do I get such an investment? Well, as I'm writing this, it's Tuesday the 9th of February. If I look in my inbox, I find at least 3 threads suggesting deals. As a matter of interest, since I've written this, I've got about 4 or 5 more, but let's stick with these. I won't necessarily take any of them, but let's look at what is available. Here's the quotation. High yield property development, partnerships, profit, share and security. Luxury property developments with attractive profit share options and full security and ownership. It's in the strategic southeast, close to high-speed rail links to London. Property joint ventures are when parties come together to form a company which will be used for the purposes of buying residential or commercial property. This can be in the form of buy-to-let for rental income, or for development of new properties, or refurbishment of existing properties for resale. Joint ventures are a common practice in property and can be mutually beneficial for both developers and their partners, and the ability to share costs and risks can be a significant benefit to all parties. The only slight problem with this one is it returns 8%. Too low for me. Okay, let's move on. Email number 2, oh that's odd, is from the same company. Okay, so let's move on to the third. If fixed returns of 15% per year, that looks a bit better. If fixed returns of 15% per year aren't compelling enough as an investment proposition, then what about an equity bonus to further advance the offer? Receive a gift of equity shares equivalent in value to your original investment, and still benefit from a loan note offering 15% fixed returns per year for 36 months. This way, you will earn a fantastic fixed rate of return and also share in any further upside that High Street Group can produce over the same period. You will even receive your shares shortly after you make an investment. Here are the key features: 36-month loan note investment, fixed annual returns of 15% per annum, equity bonus to the value of your original investment, security trustee acting to protect investor interests, corporate guarantee on capital invested. Pipeline comprises 14 ongoing projects with an estimated GDV of over £1 billion. Minimum investment, 10k. Open to high net worth and sophisticated investors. End of quote. Well, I'm not recommending this deal, I'm just showing you what's out there. And that is just taking potluck from my daily email client. Not into property? Okay, let's forget real estate. Who wants it? Where's the real money? In money, of course, always has been. One person once hit me with the extremely stupid but apparently unstoppable argument about the Indians selling the land on which New York was built for the measly sum of $6. Yeah. Yes, but how much would $6 be worth today if it had been put in a bank account and had received the basic interest over all those years? Now, tell me how much the land under New York's buildings would be worth, assuming nobody built a city there. After all, that city must have cost a lot to build and maintain. That $6 would be worth an insane amount today. I once did the calculation, but I've forgotten what I've done with it, and I'm not going back to do it again, but it certainly was an astronomical figure. Remember, money works for you. Land doesn't. You have to work the land to make it give up value. And it can be hard work. I know. I used to live on a farm. I know. I've built the houses and landscaped the gardens. Give me money as my servants any day of the week. Okay, Let's look at modern banking, just for a moment. I live in Portugal, which is a very old-fashioned country, way behind the times. The country still does things in an old-fashioned, labour-intensive way. In most countries, if I want to pay a bill, I simply flash a piece of plastic over a reader and the bill is paid. Within seconds, that's it. Now let me explain what I do in Portugal to pay my electric bill. You'll love this. There's one office in Faro, which is 40 miles away, where I could pay over the counter. At least I think I could. Generally, I get an email telling me to pay the monthly bill. I can't reply to this email, as it's a no-reply email. I can't phone anybody, as the telephone numbers all run into answer phones. What I have to do is open a bank account locally. It has to be a Portuguese account, which costs me €8 a month in fees. I then have to fund that account. If I did that by transfer from my own bank, that would cost me £25 each time I did a transfer, because it's an international transfer. I therefore choose to withdraw funds using my card. I then queue to get into the bank and pay in the money. I do that once every 2 months, wasting usually about 40 to 50 minutes of my time. The bank then charges me a fee for paying the monthly electric bill. The bill is usually only about €35. In other words, my bank costs in paying a bill are larger than the actual bill. What a waste of space for the bank building, a waste of employment for the bank tellers, a waste of my time, and a ludicrous chain of events. Let's go modern. With DeFi, none of this is necessary. None of it. Portugal may discover DeFi sometime in the next 10 or 20 years, or not. DeFi, what am I talking about? Traditional finance requires several layers of middlemen. It requires brokers, clearinghouses, auditors, specialized insurers. DeFi replaces all of that with a few lines of computer code. DeFi uses smart contracts to do all the things that banks can do, like issuing loans, interest accounts, even bonds and derivatives. You see, smart contracts are computer programs that run automatically on blockchains. So even people who don't have bank accounts can get involved. All you need is a mobile phone and some crypto. This technology today offers, and here we come down to it, this technology today offers interest rates between 8% and 12% for lending, borrowing and trading, and even buying digital art through blockchain-based smart contracts that execute automatically without any human intervention. You want to earn 10% per annum? Well, what's stopping you? You can automate the whole process. Admittedly, it's all a bit clunky to do at the moment, but I bet that before this year is out, there will be a simplified, easy-to-use system in place. All you have to do is keep yourself up to date with the technology. It's true that people do take a while to catch up with technology. I hassled my clients to get into Bitcoin in 2015 when the price was $280. Yes, this is another one. How to make 10% or more. You don't have to go overboard. My tip sheet was called the Big Pension. You want a pension? Bung £1,000 into Bitcoin and forget it. That's what I advised at the time, back in 2015. That £1,000 would have bought you 4 Bitcoins. That's now worth over £150,000 as I write this. 10% per annum? Difficult to find? I think not. Let's not just give up quite yet. What else do I claim in my books on making money? Find the current trend and hang on in there. In the 60s, when I started out, trying to make money, it was real estate. In the 80s, it was Japanese unit trusts. Remind me one day, I'll tell you how I made money out of that. It's a fun story. I made £150,000 out of two. That's £2,000. In the early 90s, it was real estate again. In the mid to late 90s, it was the internet. These days, it's all about AI and biotech. If you want to latch onto a real estate ride, you need me. I don't advise it at the moment. If you've been watching these blogs, you know why. If you want to latch onto AI and biotech, then get someone on your side who knows the score. How am I doing? Well, I'm only into this in a small way, as I've only been doing this for the past 6 to 9 months. But I'm up one hell of a lot more than 10%. Of course, one of the stalwarts of the investment business is the world of art. Yes, here comes one more. I have in my in-tray an article claiming that a company that invests in art has managed a return of 31.1% for their clients in 2020. That's not bad at all. Here are a few statements from that article. Quote, "For the last 50 years, the art market has shown steady growth. In 2020, Christie's, Sotheby's and Phillips achieved more than $370 million through auction sales. And art has been named Best Investment by the Wall Street Journal." End of quote. Oh yes, and you can invest from as little as 10 grand. That's £10,000 sterling. Not for you? In that case, let's have one more. In that case, how about the very latest way of investing by using SPACs? SPAC. Special Purpose Acquisition Company. But this is not a lesson in how to make money. It's simply a way of answering a question. If you guys want me to go into all of this in a big way, then do let me know, and I will do my best to oblige. On the other hand, if all you want is 8% per annum, that's fine. Stay poor. But you most certainly don't have to. Next week, I'll go back to exploring whether there is anywhere I can advise readers to move to. In the meantime, do click the like button below, and also do subscribe to my real estate channel just to show that I'm loved after all. Okay, see you next week.